Well, just last week, photo opportunities with the Indian Prime Minister were among the highlights of the Australian Prime Minister, Malcom Turnbull's trip to India, which is why it was such a surprise when he announced that he's putting Australia and its values first and replacing a popular visa affecting thousands of Indians. That even as President Trump gets set to sign the executive order cracking down on the H-1B visa program that takes thousands of skilled workers to the US every year, especially in tech jobs. Right, and just going to play out something for you. I spoke earlier with the CEO of NDTV, Amitabh Kant. I began by asking him on just so much happening, on the visa front, both in Australia and in America as well. We're not quite sure if we understand the impact fully, but how concerned should we be? How serious a setback will this be for Indian companies?
No, Natasha, I think first of all, it's very important to understand that Indian IT companies are net creators of job in USA. They create close to about 411,000 jobs in the United States of America. And actually the jobs being created by Indian IT companies, they have been growing annually at about 10% in the USA for the Americans. As compared to American companies, their ability to create jobs has been growing at only about 2%. So look at the difference. And therefore, because Indian IT companies are creating large-scale jobs in America. Secondly, I think it's important to understand that the crux of the entire issue is that there is a shortage of, within America, there's a shortage of people who are good at science, technology, engineering and management. This is important to understand, and it will take quite some years for them to fill this vacuum. Now, even if some action is taken against India on H-1B visa, the fact remains that those jobs are not going to go to Americans. Those jobs are going to go to some other people from some other countries, because those skills just do not exist in the United States of America. It's also important to understand that in several of the states, I mean, look at California, look at Texas, etc., where almost 40% of the total jobs that are being created by Indian companies.
But why are these sort of stats not enough to change the narrative as far as visas are concerned? We're still sort of seen as a threat. And my next question is, should Indian IT companies really have been better prepared? There are many who are saying that there's been talk of this for the last several years, and why have not been doing enough to be geared up for this situation like this?
Well, I think we are living in a globalized world. It's important to understand that a vast number of people have been lifted above poverty line simply because of globalization across the world. America has all its life advocated globalization. When it came to manufacturing, they advocated globalization. Suddenly, when it comes to IT companies, you start talking about protectionism. And this is, totally against the spirit of what America has advocated all along. And, the Indian IT companies do not recognize geographical boundaries. The nature of IT does not recognize geographical boundaries. So if manufacturing is going to get digitized in the years to come, Indian IT companies will have to spread out all over the world. It's not just America, all over the world. I mean, that's India's strength. That's India's asset. That's something which India has created by investing in its IITs and in skilling its people. That's as much the strength of India as has been the strength of many other countries in the field of manufacturing. And therefore, my view is that instead of worrying about it, India should spread this word of globalization even more, spread across the world. I mean, there's huge opportunities across many other countries, which, and eventually America will find it very difficult to grow at rapid rates without the strength of Indian IT.
Right. Why can't they just sort of see this, the stats really in their face? That's what many are asking. And, many like Narayan Murthy have said that we need to, Indian IT sort of needs to reinvent itself. And this is as good a time as any. But my last question to you, not so much on IT, but the fact that how do we deal with the Trump administration? It's really an unknown. We don't know what's in store. Perhaps not all will be pleasant. What more can the government do? Should the government be taking a more aggressive approach? Can we afford to do that?
No, Natasha, our relationship bilaterally has grown on the foundation of technology, on innovation. And actually, it's many American companies. I mean, look at Facebook, which has come and flourished here. Look at Twitter, which has come and flourished here. Look at Amazon, which has come and flourished here. And when you start initiating measures of prohibiting H-1B visas, or if you start indulging in trade measures, there will be implication both ways. It's important to realize that the strength of India-USA lies in providing greater impetus to bilateral relationship and give greater impetus to economic relationships so that our companies can flourish there and their companies can flourish here, because India is a very vast and a very large market for the American companies as well.
Right. That, of course, would be ideal just when this kind of free movement of goods and services, like you're saying, happens in a globalized world. There's just no other way where it should happen. Why protectionism? Very, very good points there. But is anyone listening? Is the world out there really listening? That is still being debated. Let me introduce my panelists to you. I'm joined by Amy Kazmin, Financial Times South Asia Bureau Chief. P.N. Vijay is still with us of the BJP, and K.C. Singh, former diplomat, also with us. What more can the Indian government do? We've seen that NASSCOM industry body sent a high-level delegation. There were several IT companies part of it, but what came of it? It's still happening. It's still going on track.
I think it's still a stalking process, and let's not exaggerate the magnitude of this thing. There have been U.S. restrictions on our goods. There have been U.S. restrictions on our farm products. Compared to the dollar value of those, these are not that significant. I mean, if let's say the H-1B from India went from 50,000 to 20,000, the impact would be a bet on Infosys or TCS, but not on the Indian economy. So it's not such a big deal.
But for many years, IT was sort of really powered the Indian economy, and 80% of revenue is coming.
Not really. IT has not powered the Indian economy. It's many other industries have contributed a lot more to the GDP than IT. And IT is not just Infosys and TCS. A lot of companies who are. So I think we should not. And I think what our government is trying to do is the best. We are doing three things with the US government, to my mind. We are making it easier for the Americans to invest in India, to do business in India. Because the traditional argument against India, and it was true for a long time, that we are the worst barriers when it comes to work permits, when it comes to
the ease of doing business, where we still need to do a lot better.
Our Modi government has taken enormous efforts to prove to them that we are bringing down wall after wall after wall. So when we are doing it, is it fair that you build these walls? And secondly and thirdly, there is a bigger political angle to it. We and the Trump government, the Modi administration and the Trump government have a lot of similarity of interests when it comes to Asia. The Chinese domination, we are both worried. Islamic terrorism being spread, we are both worried. So these are, in my view, very important issues with which we would like to tell Mr. Trump that we are with you on this. Why don't you be a bit more accommodating with us on this one?
K.C. Singh, come in at that point. We share similar concerns. We've shown them that, we might not really be doing well on the ease of doing business till 130 there on that report, but that we are doing our bit is the point that Mr. Vijay is making. But can we do so more aggressively to put our demands and our concerns out there as far as the Trump administration is concerned?
Look, the arguments that Mr. Kant was making, Mr. Vijay is making, these are all basic arguments that would be there on the table. I don't agree with this that it's a very small part of our exports. I think the software exports to US are in the range of $100 billion. Now, what is the correlationship between the visas and the product? I don't know. If your visas come down, say, total available are 65,000, another 20,000 lottery based. Now, if that comes down by 10%, would this be hit by 10% or more? We don't know. I'm not an expert in that matter, but it'll certainly get affected. Now, there are 4 or 5 things we have to keep in mind. This is one of Mr. Trump's election promises.
Absolutely.
There's no way he's going to back off on this. He will go ahead with it. And we've seen that is the patent of his, that's the kind of behavior he has indulged in respect of other issues which were very basic to his campaign. Now, whether we say it's creating more jobs, you know, that argument can be turned around. It may not create the white-collar jobs for educated Americans. It may be creating jobs for the working class American or somebody on the shop floor. So they will turn that around. So I think we should be prepared that there would be a cut. We can, yes, sit down and talk to the Americans. You probably not get relief in that form. Companies have to tweak their functioning. They have to start functioning differently and start imagining differently.
Absolutely.
Same thing happened to India when Soviet Union cracked up. There's a whole industry,
and
low cost, blankets going from Ludhiana, cycles, those you know, those exports just disappeared. So we have to be ready for a new world. Let's not just repeat simply arguments, we are very friendly, interests converge. All that is very well. But for Mr. Trump, there are silos. And when things are in those silos, he will act on them. Over a period of time, he may discover he's not going to gain from it. He may start
and
then
we might see a different narrative.
We need support. We need support within the American system. We have to work with the Congress. We have to work with the diaspora. So let's start generating influence within the system.
And are we doing enough of that? That's still the big question. But Amy, come in here. The point that experts are making over and over again is that this kind of talent, these kind of skilled workers that America is looking for, and in fact now cracking down on that they get courtesy these visas, are just not available at home for them. Science, technology, not traditionally the areas where they can find domestic workers, they can find local workers. So at the end of the day, this kind of talent for America will have to come from overseas.
Actually, Natasha, I want to tell you that, I mean, here in India, I do hear this assertion over and over again that the skills are not available, the skills are not available. I have to say that there may be some perception that's a bit different in the U.S. The question, I think, there are many computer science graduates who are completing degrees in the U.S. who are unemployed. There are not jobs for every computer science graduate. And I think that within the United States, there is a debate about, are these skills not available, like actually not available, or is it that the skills that are available are being basically undercut by Indian workers who are willing to come over and do the job for a lot cheaper? I have to say I don't have the absolute answer to this definitively, but I think that is a discussion and a discourse that needs to be looked at. There is a perception in the U.S., and I should also point out that it's not just by the Trump administration. The Democrats have also been looking at this issue. So, I mean, I'm not saying the U.S. should close its doors. Yeah.